right, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started. I know that some instructors have students testing, and some students are going to be watching this online or watching the recording. We appreciate everybody that could join us this morning. I'm Mr. Woodard, and this is our monthly college and career service workshop. Remember, like I said, these workshops are recorded to watch later, and a link will be available for each recording. If you missed a previous workshop or just want to watch one again, ask your instructor. They'll have the link. They can provide it with you. Instructors, you can also watch the recording in class later, and please record your sign-in sheet and send it in. Great. Today we will talk about the SMARTER goal system. As we start a new year, let's think about setting goals. We'll talk about some ideas and discuss some possibilities. Plus, we'll actually look at a goal-setting worksheet and go through that. Let's begin by watching some information about the SMARTER goal system.
It to happen. A goal without a plan is just a wish. It is also important to recognize that not all objectives are created equal. So today I'll explain the SMART method of goal setting and how it will amplify your chances of actually succeeding. Let's get started. S stands for specific. We all have plenty of dreams and goals, but most of them are all generalized and vague, so we don't really know how to achieve them. Your goal must be clear and well defined. You can only get to where you want by defining precisely how you will get there. For example, let's take a look at this generalized wish. I want to be healthier, or I want to have a better body. What does all of this even mean? It's super vague and not specific enough. A better example would be, I'll replace drinking soda with water. I'll also be going to the gym 3 times a week for 45 minutes. You could be even more specific. 3 times per week could mean every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every time at 3 p.m. Make it as specific as possible so you know what exactly you're going to be focusing on. M stands for measurable. Tracking the progress of your goal is an important part of keeping you motivated. It allows you to set milestones that you can celebrate when you achieve them and reevaluate when you don't. If your goal is simply defined as lose weight, how will you know when you have been successful? You need to define exactly how much weight you want to lose. A much better goal would be, I want to lose 10 pounds. This way you have something to aim for, and you can even set smaller milestones along the way. Basically, you break that big objective into other smaller objectives. So if you think that 10 pounds is too much, you should break it down into manageable pieces. First, aim for 3 pounds, then another 3, all the way up to 10. It's the progress that keeps us motivated, so if you don't have a way to measure it, you will fail with your ambition. A stands for attainable. Make sure that it's possible to achieve the dreams you set for yourself. Far too many people fall into the trap of setting impossible goals. While they may push you forward for a while, you will almost certainly end up giving up on them. Instead of being impossible, your goals should be challenging, yet achievable. There's nothing wrong with shooting for the stars, as you might end up at the moon. However, unless you want to burn out, it's much more efficient to take small steps. For example, making $1 million by the end of the month is impossible if you can't even pay your bills. A much more attainable goal would be making extra $100 by the end of the month. Once you have achieved that, you can go a step further and try making extra $200. You don't want to set yourself up for failure by trying to go far beyond the bounds of possibility. It will only make you miserable. R stands for relevant. Your plans should be relevant to the direction you want your life and career to take. A common issue we face is having too many goals at the same time, or pursuing the wrong goals. Unless your plan is relevant to your overall life plan, achieving it may not accomplish anything. So if you look at my example, I wanted to learn French because I loved the way it sounded. However, I realized that learning the language would be completely useless for me. I barely know anyone that speaks French and I don't really need to use it anywhere. So I stopped learning it as it was taking too much of my time while I was getting nothing out of it. Becoming fluent in French would be nice, but it is currently not relevant to my overall life plan. So ask yourself why you want to achieve your goal before you commit to it. T stands for time bound. This is one of the most important factors. Your plans must have a deadline. If you don't set a time limit, you have basically unlimited time to achieve your goals. When you are working on a deadline, your sense of urgency increases and you're more likely to achieve your goal. Think of your time in school. You had a whole month to write an essay, and yet it was done in the last 2 days. It's because the deadline was right around the corner, so you had no choice but to do it. So whenever you set a goal, keep a time limit in mind as it will push you to actually work on it. Now you know how to set SMART goals. But there's one last thing. Most people think that goal setting is a one-time event. Like you set your goals once and you're done. However, it's actually an ongoing process. It never ends. Your plans will need evaluation and revision, so it's important to stay flexible. Thanks for watching. Do you have any dreams or goals that you're currently working on? I, for example, have a goal to run a marathon in the next 6 months. So let me know what you're working towards in the comments below. Together we'll become better than yesterday.
Okay, that was very interesting. I hope some insights were garnered from that. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. If you're watching this on recording, you can contact our office or you can email me at zwoodard@oftc.edu. We'll be glad to help you. Of course, your instructor is always available to assist you. And I hope we got some good ideas from that first video. Let's try another one.
The only way I know to track our progress is to create milestones. Milestones show us what we are accomplishing and allow us to see how we accomplish even more. If you have stopped to read any of the statistics or articles on goal setting before, you will have read two things. 1. People without goals are not as successful as they hope to be. 2. People who don't write down goals are less likely to accomplish them. What I have found over the last 10 years of dream chasing is how important goals are in the grand picture of seeing your dreams come true. Goals give us momentum to push through adversity we experience while chasing our dreams. This year, there was a huge push not to set goals. People were sharing about how terrible they felt last year when they failed to meet their goals, or how they never really followed through with achieving them. So, should we even set goals to try to see our dreams come true? Yes! The problem for so many people is that they haven't created goals which will help them succeed, and their inability to follow through because of fear or poor goal creation holds them back. This was me about 10 years ago. I would set goals at the beginning of the year and then never go back and look at them. I would have these really vague, general ideas of things I wanted to accomplish, but never create action steps or any plans to achieve anything. This is why goals fail. You have probably heard of the SMART goal system. This is a great system. In fact, when I finally got tired of never accomplishing my goals, I learnt about it and started to see some of my goals achieved. And then I learnt about the ER in goal setting. Let's start putting some goals together using the SMARTer system. Specific. Sounds pretty simple, right? Just write something down that is specific. The question is, how specific do I need to be? The answer, the more specific you are, the easier it will be to quantify your results along the way. For example, if you want to lose weight, to be more specific, how much weight do you want to lose? Better yet, What weight would you like to be at the end of pursuing your goal? A specific goal says this: I will weigh 200 pounds. We want to quantify our goals. To make a goal measurable, we need to be able to see progress over time. Say your goal is to write a novel. How do we make it measurable? You will need to
Gonna have to change horses there for a second. Sorry about that. All right, let's watch this one.
Regardless if it is professional or personal, we all struggle sometimes to achieve our goals. Many times our struggle is not because of a lack of effort, but rather how our goals have been structured. Anytime you set a goal or if you find yourself struggling while working towards a goal, keep in mind the word SMART. SMART is an acronym that can be used to help evaluate and add structure to your goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART begins with asking yourself the degree to which a goal is specific. This is arguably the most important part of establishing or evaluating a goal. The less specific a goal, the more difficult it is to determine how long the goal should take to complete or how to measure success. Consider the difference between a goal to get healthy versus the goal to lose weight versus the goal to lose 10 pounds. The goal to get healthy is much less specific than a goal to lose 10 pounds. The next question to ask: how is the goal measured? What determines success? Some goals may be best measured by a simple yes or no, such as the goal of climbing to the top of a mountain, while other goals are better measured by using metrics such as the goal to lose 10 pounds. The key to measurement is making sure that in whatever way the goal is measured, it accurately reflects success. For instance, if you do not have access to a scale, then measuring weight loss will be difficult and less accurate. An alternative measure may be to track how many inches you have lost around the waist. But to what extent does this accurately reflect the goal? Without access to a reliable way of measuring weight, we may want to consider buying a scale or restructuring our goal. Actionable is not asking yes or no, but how will the goal be achieved? What is our action plan? Do we have the resources and capabilities required to achieve success? If not, what are we lacking? Well-designed goals provide clarity of action. If the actions required to achieve a goal are unclear, or there are a large number of actions that need to be taken, we should consider breaking down the main goal into manageable, actionable sub-goals. In isolation, any single goal is relevant, but in life, we most often are in the process of pursuing multiple goals. A common issue we face is having too many goals at the same time, or pursuing the wrong goals. With this in mind, we need a mechanism to help us monitor our goals to make sure we are pursuing our most relevant goals at any given moment in time. One technique is to place goals in a matrix that looks at effort required versus perceived value of achieving the goal. Not always, but most of the time we will want to focus our energy on low effort, high value goals. Another technique is to use the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. Ask, which are the 20% of goals that will provide me with 80% of my return? The last thing we want to make sure is that goals are time-bound. By including a specific date by which a goal should be accomplished, it helps provide incentive and allows us to monitor progress. Consider the difference between the goal to lose 10 pounds and the goal to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Simply by including an element of time, we can now calculate how much we should be losing each week, and if after 5 weeks we have only lost 1 pound, we can revisit our action plan. Be wary of any goal that is open-ended, such as the common goal to learn a foreign language. Last, it is important to reinforce that goal setting is not an event. It is an ongoing process of action, evaluation, and revision. It is not about lowering goals or standards to ensure success. It is about recognizing goals are dynamic because life is dynamic. We do not live in a static world. Life happens. A goal that is relevant today may be irrelevant tomorrow. When using SMART, stay flexible and motivated by setting aside time to reevaluate your goals on a regular basis.
All right, that was really interesting. Now, I hope some people have picked up on we're using the SMARTER goal system. And SMARTER stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, evaluated, and a reward. I hope some of you have this sheet available to fill it out with me. If not, it will be a part of the package that your instructors will have. If you watch the recording and want a goal sheet to finish out, you're welcome to it. We'll be glad to provide that. Like I said, just contact me or let your instructor know. This is a great way to remember of how to set a goal, carry it out, accomplish it, and feel rewarded for accomplishing that goal. So let's take a few minutes and actually do a SMARTER goal worksheet. All right, up here, today's date. You put today, August 20th. Target date. I'm going to put October 15th, about 6 weeks. It's not unreasonable. My goal is to obtain my GED. My start date is going to be today. And my date achieved, I will fill that in when I achieve that goal. What exactly will you accomplish? I will, hold on one second. Wow, that was small. Always technical difficulties, always. All right. There we go. I'm going to be kind of small here. I want to let me do it. But anyway, I will obtain my GED. Okay, measurable. I will, good gracious. And we just got to talk about this. How will we know we've achieved this goal? Well, what do we have to do to pass our GED? We have to pass each section. So we'll measure it by achieving, say, social studies first, science, RLA, then math. Achievable. Is achieving the goal realistic with effort and commitment? Have you got the resources to achieve this goal? If not, how will you get them? That is such an easy answer. Of course, you've got the resources to do this. You have a great instructor. You have lots of instructional materials. You have a facility and people willing to help you. All you need to do is show up and give effort. All we're asking for is your time. All you need is your time. Relevant. Why is this goal significant to your life? A GED is a key that opens every door to your future. With a GED, you can get the job you're looking for. You can get a better job. You can get into post-secondary education. You can go to a technical college like Oconee Fall Line Technical College, or you can go to another college. Timely. When will you achieve this goal? You can start on it today. You're already in adult education. You already know how to study for your GED. You may have already passed a section. Evaluated. How will you know that you have achieved this goal? You will know you have achieved this goal by passing the GED. And then you'll know you're well on your way by doing well in class, passing practice tests, passing official practice tests, and then passing sections on your way to completing the entire GED. Reward. Once accomplished, how will you reward yourself and move forward? You can reward yourself when you pass your GED by taking yourself out to eat or applying for college. Your application fee is waived at Oconee Fall Line Technical College if you apply with us for college, and we will show you through financial aid and admissions how you can attend Oconee Fall Line Technical College at very little expense to you. There is a great deal of help financially for students at Oconee Fall Line Technical College. So that's the Smarter Goal System. I'm really glad you could join us to go over this today. If you're watching this recording, remember, just reach out to your instructor or reach out to me. I'm at zooterd@oftc.edu. You can call the office at 478-274-7848. Please look out for any supplementary materials that may be sent out in conjunction with this workshop. Also, your instructor has many other great resources available. Remember, you can contact our department anytime. Just come by, call us at 478-274-7848, or email me, once again, zwoodard@oftc.edu. Okay, instructors, I'm going to send out a survey link to share with your students. There's also a survey link in the chat for anybody that's online or watches this recording. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.